Since the 1960s, Ridgeland Farms bred dogs for research on a Blue Mounds farm. But until a few years ago, Rebecca Clem didn't know that.
We kind of decided this was the time. We needed to get this done, that it had been long enough.
Clem is a founding member of Dane4Dogs, the group formed to end the breeding and sale and use of dogs and cats for experimentation. And they made their first project, Ridgeland Farms. And that's in part because of this video taken by Direct Action Network, an animal rights organization. The group says it took this video in the spring of last year by entering an unlocked door on the farm. Their goal to try to show what was happening to beagles bred and kept there. So Dane4Dogs worked with an attorney and gathered signatures to put a referendum on the ballot in the village of Mount Horeb. Now, that measure would prohibit the transportation of dogs and cats outside the village for research and experimentation, and prevent experimentation that causes pain or distress to dogs and cats.
They've been in business since the 1960s, and most people didn't know about it, and so our goal was to let people know about it and let them decide if it offends public morals and decency.
The Village Board of Supervisors agreed to allow the binding referendum to appear on the ballot in November. Dane4Dogs says they approached the village after finding the farm's corporate address listed in Mount Horeb, but that address is not the actual location of the farm, which is instead in Blue Mounds. Village Administrator Nick Owen says the measure made it on the ballot because when faced with petitions, they must either adopt the ordinance or put it up for a vote. Owen says the results of the referendum should not directly affect the operations at Ridgeland Farms. If it's approved, it would prohibit that type of business coming to the village of Mount Horeb. Because the measure is on the ballot, the community is talking. Mark Shervin placed these signs in his Town of Vermont yard expressing his view. He says he believes animal research is still needed and that the farm is a well-run operation.
I know some of the originating members of that farm and current owners of the farm, and they're very thoughtful people. They take care of their employees. I believe that they take very good care of their animals, and so I think it's one of those things that is very much needed.
Ridgeland Farms would not allow us to interview them or allow us onto the property. They're defending their decades of work, however, and raising questions about the video taken by DXE. Now, in a statement, the farm says they're committed to breeding and raising healthy dogs for research purposes and say, in part, quote, "The work we do at Ridgeland Farms saves both human and animal lives." They note their farm is routinely inspected by the USDA, and we confirmed a 2018 inspection found no violations. Now, Ridgeland also claims DXE illegally trespassed in the middle of the night to capture the video and stole dogs from the farm. Now, the Dane County Sheriff's Department confirms they're investigating activity at the farm, but they won't detail what that is. Now, Clem says she believes the referendum will help raise awareness about what Ridgeland is doing.
Most were shocked and appalled to find out that this facility was so close. They had never heard of it. They didn't know what was happening. They thought dog experimentation was already illegal.
But Shervin disagrees.
We are not at a point in time where we can do away with animal research, and I think it saves lives for pets and people.
But Clem says her eyes were opened by her work on the referendum, and she believes there are other options.
I want people to know that it's a false choice to think that you have to choose between humans or dogs. There's a third alternative called technology, and it's readily available.
And the referendum will appear on the November ballot. You can find the full resolution as well as the full statement from Ridgeland Farms on fox47.com. Well, Dana